he'd have to have his ship's rockets on. So has admitted that he's in an accelerated frame of reference on the ship. So therefore, the ship should time dilate, right? And the man jumped out of the ship. He's inertial now. So his clock should be just running faster. Shouldn't be slowed down by any gravity field at all, because gravity fields don't affect objects. It only affects space-time. And he isn't accelerating in any way. Does he have a rocket on him? All I know is this guy is saying that there's a spaceship hovering over top of the black hole that has their rockets on, accelerating them, but they're not in accelerated frame of reference. Now, if this isn't doublespeak, and then he's saying the guy that jumps out that doesn't have any rockets on him, he's the one who's actually accelerating. He's in an accelerated frame of reference. Even though if he was in a box, and he had a ball and he put the ball out, the ball would just float there. But he's in an accelerated frame of reference. If this isn't doublespeak, I don't know what is, man. Obviously, the guy in the ship who's accelerating, he's going to experience time dilation. His clock is going to slow down, not the guy inertial.
Keep track of time, we give you a special watch that will tell you how long has passed from your perspective and from my perspective back on the ship. We sync the watch and away you go on your journey for the black hole. As your journey begins, you see the distant monster rapidly consuming material, causing it to be superheated due to friction. This simulation would have taken more than a decade to run on your typical laptop. The disc in real life would be a bright blue or even white color, but in this case, it's been made orange for visibility reasons. You check your watch for the first time,
Look, he's saying your time is the spaceman, and the ship is accelerating. We all know it. He admits it, right? If you ask him, he can't deny it that the ship has to accelerate. Otherwise, the ship would be falling just like the man. That's why the man is falling, because he doesn't have any rockets on accelerating him against the gravity, right? Yeah. He will admit that he is accelerating with his rockets, and yet he will say this BS. This is doublespeak, man. He's obviously the ship is time dilated. He's saying it reverse. Why is the ship that's accelerating using his thrusters accelerating with this acceleration, there's rockets? Why is he the one that has regular time? Shouldn't he be time dilated? And this guy that jumped, he isn't affected by the gravity. He's in an inertial frame, just going in a straight line. He's just following that geodesic. And so he should have zero. He's in an inertial frame. He holds a ball out. If you hold a ball out in that spaceship, it's going to fall. It's going to fall down because they're being accelerated. This guy, if he's in a box free falling down, he lets go of a ball, it floats. Yeah, he's in an inertial frame. What kind of doublespeak is this, man? He's reversed. The guys are, you see that he's reversing it, right? He's saying, look, it only took less time for the spaceman. In the ship, it took longer. No, that's a lie. That's an outright lie. Because it's doublespeak. You can't say you're do this stuff that the ship is in an inertial frame even though it's accelerating and blah, 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 and this guy is accelerating even though he's inertial and things float in his frame of reference. But, he's accelerating, and the guy that everything accelerates in his frame of reference on the ship, right? Because everything will accelerate down. He's in an inertial frame. This is doublespeak. Come on, man.
30 minutes has passed and you're about 0.1% of your way to the event horizon. So far, I've only gained 11 seconds back on the ship.
Oh.
Not too bad. Now we are getting closer. The curved spacetime around the black hole is causing all kinds of strange visual effects. Light rays from the sides and even behind the black hole are being bent around before arriving at your eye. Let's check the time again. You've now been gone for 2 hours and you're 1.4% of the way there. I'm now 44 seconds ahead back on the ship. Slightly alarming, but nothing crazy. The shadow of the black hole, that dark region in the middle, appears to be growing quicker than we should expect. Again, due to that gravitational lensing effect that bends light rays that would normally pass by you into your retina. After a long time, you finally check your watch again, and what you find terrifies you. From your perspective,
because it's all lies and wokeness, okay? Why would this guy is actually telling you that the guy in the spaceship that's accelerating and has his rockets on, okay, he don't experience any time dilation. But this guy here, who's inertial and he holds out a ball and the ball just floats along with him, he's the one who's being accelerated and his time is dilated. This is double speak. You can't see the double speak in this. This is bull. Bull.
you left around 12 hours ago. But for me back on board the ship, I've been watching you float towards the black hole for nearly 15 and a half hours. We are getting close now, and things are about to get pretty weird. But before you reach the point of no return, you come across a strange and seemingly magical place. If you were frozen in time at this one special spot and looked around, you wouldn't believe your eyes. You have arrived at the photon sphere. Maybe...
Keep in mind, at this point, you're free falling, okay? You can't accelerate, no, because you're almost at the speed of light. You're not gonna. Your ship ran out of fuel a long time ago, and you turned into an inertial frame of reference, and you just fell into the, the photon sphere. You would be almost traveling at the speed of light. You would pass that point, this circle photon sphere, like in a second, 1 second, you'd be through it, and you wouldn't even realize, it'd be so quick. But yeah, he's saying if you froze there, what would happen, okay? But in real life, you would be inertially falling. The rate of space-time falling at that point is pretty much almost the speed of light, man. You are moving fast.
The strangest place in our known universe. This is a region of space around the black hole where gravity is perfectly...
And keep in mind, when I say you're moving fast, I mean you're actually just floating there. You're staying in the same spatial coordinates relative to space-time. I'm saying relative to the black hole, you're going quick, you're going fast. Relative to the black hole, you are going almost the speed of light.
Balanced, such that light can actually orbit the black hole. Not matter emitting or reflecting light, just the photons of light themselves stuck in orbit. If this light moves tangentially to the black hole, it can orbit, but any tiny variations in its path will either cause the photons to fall into the black hole or simply fly off into space. Under these very specific conditions, if you just froze at the photon sphere and looked around, you would see mirror images of yourself looking away from you. You'd see a number of copies of the back of your head staring off into space. You are literally seeing yourself essentially stood right beside you in real time with no technology or anything, just the warping of space-time itself. And here's where things get crazy. As you continue your journey, you are getting really close to the event horizon. Now we are past the photon sphere. The black hole seems to be taking up more of your view than you would expect. It kind of feels like you're being swallowed by darkness. This is because the darkness is being warped around you, showing the back and sides of the black hole's shadow in addition to the part that would normally be visible to you in flat space-time. You have now been gone for 13 hours and in 20...
Oh, some more lies about this time dilation. Okay, so I'll say it again. He admits the guy in the spaceship has to be accelerating, he has to have his rockets on, otherwise he would be falling just like this falling man, right? To just hover above the Earth. No, we took out orbiting, right? We took that out. Hovering over top of the black hole and just parking there, okay, requires that you put your thrusters on and accelerate away from the black hole. And to stay, if you're 1,000 miles away, then if you want to stay 1,000 miles away, you got to accelerate at the same rate that space-time is accelerating down towards the black hole. To stand still, just like on a regular hill in regular space. If it's almost a 90-degree angle, we're straight up and down almost, but it's like 70 degrees. You got wheels. You can't just put your cart on there. It's going to roll down the hill. The only way you can stand still in that curved space is to accelerate, have rockets to accelerate, the opposite of gravity. Come on, man. And then he's saying this guy who isn't accelerating at all, he's staying exactly, the same spatial coordinates. And what's funny is you can do a test. This guy, the floating guy, the falling guy, he can do a test. He can hold a ball out. It floats. On the spaceship, because he's accelerating with his thrusters, when he holds a ball out, it falls to the floor. But this podcaster, this woke guy, he wants us to believe the opposite. He wants us to think the opposite.
4 minutes, you will cross the event horizon. But from back on the ship, I've been watching your journey for nearly 20 whole hours now.
Yeah.
18 minutes later, and you check again. And now I've been watching you for nearly 40 hours.
No.
The last 18 minutes for you lasted 18 hours for me. And
he's saying that he didn't get done. He's saying that he's doing it reverse, man. The guy who's accelerating will be time dilated. He's saying that the guy in the ship who's being accelerated constantly to overcome the gravity is not going to have any time dilation. But the falling man, who doesn't have a rocket, so he obviously is not accelerating, he's the one who time dilates. And he's the one who's actually accelerating. This is doublespeak, okay? If you can't see that, you're insane.
finally, it's time. After just 6 more minutes, you cross the event horizon of the black hole. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and look at your watch. But it seems to be broken. It's saying I have been watching you fall in for an infinite amount of time.
No. See, No. He's reversing crap, okay? He's a reverser. He's woke. He's trying to tell you when you accelerate your rockets that you're inertial. And when you don't have a rocket on you, you're accelerating. This is double speak. Come on, man. God, no one sees this but me, really. In the spaceship, everything would fall. Everything would accelerate if you let go of it. It would. Everything in that frame of reference would accelerate to the ground. But he's saying that's an inertial frame. And in this falling guy, if it was in a box and he had a ball, the ball would float. And he's saying, nope, that's still he's in an accelerated frame of reference. And no one sees this as double speak. No one but me, really. There has to be one. There's 8 billion people on this planet. There isn't one person that sees this. Really?
But it's not broken. The physics is right. And I spent decades watching you slowly edge closer and closer and closer to the event horizon. Eventually, I see you become redshifted. This means I have to...
That's right. The guy in the ship is just going to see him falling in regularly because he's just following the geodesic, man. He doesn't have a rocket on him. Okay, if he had a rocket on him, then you'd see time dilation in this falling spaceman. But he doesn't have a rocket. He's just following inertially, straight line, constant velocity.
Use an infrared telescope to even see you. I never get to see you cross the event horizon, even if I lived forever. The last 6 minutes of the journey for you literally lasts an eternity for me back on...
Nope. Back on the ship, he's being time dilated. The guy falling, his clock is actually ticking faster than the guy on the ship because the guy on the ship is being accelerated and the guy falling isn't being accelerated at all. He doesn't have any rockets on him. See, only the ship has rockets. That's why it doesn't fall. Otherwise, why doesn't it fall? Oh, because he has rockets on. That's right. He's accelerating. But he isn't in an accelerated frame of reference, according to this guy.
On board our ship. I know this sounds like science fiction, like a complete fantasy.
Yeah, because you're contradicting yourself. You're saying that the ship is accelerating, right? Because he's literally saying that. He's saying the ship isn't falling, the guy is falling because he has his rockets on accelerating, just like anyone hovering above a planet would have to do if he wasn't orbiting, right? And he's saying that this accelerated frame of reference is not an accelerated frame of reference. It's an inertial frame. And the falling guy that doesn't have any rockets, he's actually the accelerated frame of reference. This is double speak, man. Come on, man. Come on.
But it's not. It jumps right out of Einstein's equation.
No.
Now you are inside the event horizon. So what happens here? Strangely, you'd actually have a